We're exactly a week out now from Oklahoma's primary runoff elections. There are some key races and state questions on the ballot. On August 25th, Democrats here in Oklahoma will vote for who they want to represent their party in the race for United States Senate.
Jasmine Thomas and Jim Priest are the two candidates after neither won the majority in the June primaries. Whoever wins the race will move on to face Republican Kevin Hearn in November. KOCO's Patrick Talbot sat down with both candidates, discussed their priorities and why each believes that they are the better choice for Oklahoma.
Two Democrats with different backgrounds are asking Oklahoma voters for the same job. Attorney Jim Priest says his decades working in law, the nonprofit world, and ministry have taught him how to solve problems and listen.
I think the advantage of being a lawyer, understanding civil rights and constitutional law, and then the effect of being in the nonprofit world and minister's world, really seeing where the needs of people meet everyday life, helps me be a better problem solver.
Nikayla Jasmine Thomas is a nurse, military spouse, and mother, and her pitch is put someone in Washington who has recently experienced many of the same challenges facing working Oklahoma families.
I have perspective and I also have lived experience, but I'm an Oklahoman through and through. I have lived here my whole life. I have grown up in southern Oklahoma my whole life, but I've also been more exposed to different areas, different cultures, and also different just livelihood. We need someone in the Senate on the federal level at that who can absolutely, and I mean absolutely, relate to the everyday Oklahoman.
While both candidates talk about healthcare, education, and Oklahoma's economy, their priorities are different. Priest puts affordability near the top of his list.
The first one, of course, is affordability, and that covers a variety of different areas. But I think the federal government has a primary responsibility to work on the affordability issues because they affect everyone, at least everyone in the working class.
Thomas puts healthcare at the center of her campaign. She supports Medicare for all and says rural hospital closures are something that officials in Washington need to focus more on.
We need someone who's actually in the culture of healthcare, and that me being a nurse. And I know the inequities in our healthcare system, whether that's, the cultural issues that are going on within our healthcare sector, the nurse burnout, or even, having the lack of physicians. And also hospitals closing, our rural hospitals closing.
The last Democrat to serve in the U.S. Senate was David Boren, who left that office in 1994. So how do these two plan to reach across the aisle to serve Republicans? Priest says it starts with trust.
Whether you're a Republican or an independent or a Democrat, you need to vote for a person that you believe you can put your trust in to make right decisions, because this isn't a democracy where everybody gets a button and they get to vote on every piece of legislation that comes up. You really delegate that to your people in Congress. And so I want to establish trust, and I think I'm a trustworthy person.
And Thomas says her approach is to start with the person, not the party.
I don't even see the letters of parties when I'm walking past someone and I'm having these conversations about what's important to them. So it's not even about the party. It's about what the people are wanting and what are they seeing, and how can we address that effectively.
Democratic voters will decide between Priest and Thomas in the August 25th runoff. The winner of this race will face Republican Congressman Kevin Hearn. Patrick Talbot, KOCO 5 News.